as a New Orleanian, after Katrina, what have we brought to Dallas? What is it about who we are as a people in our culture that has kind of dropped little seeds of enlightenment on the city of Dallas? What is that? I want to present, like I said, who we are, why we are, and why we even came here. I feel like people look at us here very differently. They look at us because I think they're trying to figure out why we so big in our personality, like why we not afraid to walk or open our mouths or like just prophesize who we are. People look at us here, Dallas people today, they be like, what's wrong with these people? And that's because of our upbringing and our culture. And it doesn't matter, like when Katrina hit, people were dispersed all over the place, right? And everywhere now there's a conversation that's brought up about New Orleans people living here. Girl, let me tell you about them New Orleans people. Girl, they had this event. Girl, you should have seen how they was dancing and how they was. Girl, you ever heard her talk? Ooh, say baby, baby. Like, people are intrigued by our spirit. But it makes me sometimes here in Dallas feel like an outcast because it makes you feel like you may be too much. Not too much as far as like all that, but like you may be too grand in your appearance to be a part of without being slightly judged or looked at as being different in others. I think since I've been here politically as an artist, it's been very hard because Dallas has made me have to prove myself to them. It was almost like standing on the auction block. And I still feel like I have to do that for them to see who I am and what I have to bring. And it hasn't been easy. But because we're such a proudful people, and Katrina or Hurricane Bessie, all them, that don't stop us. Even though Katrina took everything, it's something in our spirit that keeps us moving forward. And that's the essence of being a New Orleanian. This is what I came here with. I came here with nothing as far as material, but I also came with a dignity and a pride, just being who I am. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I would love to have footage that shows how I got here, why I got here, and that's Katrina.
You have a choice?
No. When I evacuated, we had to go to the nearest place. When the Katrina hit, the first place we went was Mississippi. I went to Macomb. Listen, people got to understand, when we evacuated, we thought we were going back home. We never knew we weren't going back home. Nobody didn't know the levees was going to break. We thought that Katrina was going to roll through, heavy rain was coming, and we was good, girl. We just packed one little bag, and we was coming back home. We'll be back home in a couple of days. Nobody didn't know that we was never going to be able to return, and we was going to lose all our shit. Nobody would have never thought that, right? So we went to Macomb. We stayed in a hotel. Me, my newborn son, who was a week old, my daughter was 4, and my boyfriend at the time. Went to Macomb, stayed in the hotel with no lights, 2 days. I packed one bag for everybody when we were evacuated. Everybody got one bag. Now, Nigel was a newborn, so he took up most of the space in the car. So I was like, oh, we'll be back. Let's just bring a couple of things. We packed up a little cooler, brought, some little snippets, niblets and stuff. Girl, when we got to Macomb, the stores had been hit up. Every store was hit up. Gas stations was running out of gas. It was a mess. Stayed in the hotel 2 days with no electricity. Eating, because Mississippi got bad rain too. They got hit by Katrina too. So, anyway, 2 days, no electricity. My daughter was eating bologna and Ritz crackers and grapes. She ate that for 2 days. I had to eat something because at the time I was breastfeeding. I didn't have an appetite, but I ate. My boyfriend at the time, he couldn't eat at all because his nerves were so bad. Ellie thought we was on vacation. We was in the hotel, girl. She jumping on the beds, and so we sit there looking at her like, bless her heart. Now watch this. We didn't know about the levees breaking until, let me see, the 29th. The levees broke on that Monday. We didn't know how bad the situation was until we got to Dallas. So 2 days after being in the hotel with no electricity, my son's father was like, we're going to Dallas. Because he was living in Dallas 2 months prior to Katrina, but he decided to move back to New Orleans because I was having a baby. So he had only been home a month and a half, right? So he worked for the window. So he was like, let's just go back to Dallas. I have people in Dallas that'll help us out. We got to Dallas, Texas. We went to the DoubleTree Hotel off of Market Center. Walked into the hotel, saw all these people there looking at the TV. So we was like, why is everybody looking at the TV? Girl, when we looked at the TV and saw images of the convention center and the Superdome and what was going on, because we had no electricity. So we didn't know what was happening at the Superdome and the convention center because we didn't have connection to TV or nothing.
Did you leave in time?
We left the day before the levees broke. That's Sunday. And we
now you just now seeing what happened.
So I didn't see what happened until Thursday, probably Thursday or Friday of that week. So I see people in front of the convention center, girl, people that I done went to school with, one of my professors from undergrad, like out there starving and things is happening in New Orleans wilding out. Me, I was like, oh my God. Then I hear about the Superdome, people in the Superdome getting raped and beat, and I mean, it was just a barbaric situation. And I had no control. I didn't know where my mama was. I didn't know where none of my family was because all of the 504 cell numbers were shut down. So we didn't know nothing. We had no ways of connecting with nobody for almost 3 weeks. Okay. Got to Dallas, saw what was going on, was devastated, couldn't get in contact with family. So I'm in a place of unknown, don't know what's going on. So it took us a year to get ourselves situated. We stayed in a hotel for about 2 months. Two different hotels.
Where did the money come from?
Of course, nobody couldn't get to their account because you know all your accounts was in New Orleans and the banks in New Orleans. So by the grace of God, because I just had been working here, his co-workers invited us over for a get-together one Sunday. It was one day. I forgot it was a Sunday. We walked into a house in Plano. Like, I had never seen houses like this in Plano. I was like, wow. They opened the door. They had signs up saying, welcome to Dallas, Idris, Michelle, Ailey, and Nigel. They had 4 rooms set up. One room was a room filled with stuff for Nigel. He was a newborn. They had another room stuff for Ailey. They had another room stuff for Michelle. Another room stuff for Idris. These people, when I say they had they were so gracious. I had never experienced anything like that in my life. People being so great. I mean, people I had never met. But because they were co-workers of Idris, they knew the situation. They wanted to make sure we were taken care of. Clothes, toiletries, cards with money in them, gift cards for the kids. So there's a room full of stuff for each person. Then they gave us cards with money in it. And that really helped us get on our feet. Even though I just had they gave him his job, of course. They relocated him, gave him his job back immediately. And so for a year, I didn't work. I stayed home because I was too depressed. I couldn't move. I just took care of Nigel. I had to send Ailey to her dad because I couldn't emotionally handle everything. So she, at the time, her dad was living in Atlanta, so I sent her to her dad for a year. That killed me because I needed some time. So I didn't dance. I just was a mother. I just stayed home. So it took me a year before I really decided to get back into the classroom and teach or just go take a dance class. And the first place I went was Dallas Black, just to take a modern class. I just wanted to dance. I didn't want to, just wanted to take a class. And that's how it all started. Got a job with DISD, and I've been in it ever since. I'm not with DISD anymore, but yeah. I didn't know nobody. Mama Vicky heard that I had been in Dallas for a year, that she didn't even know I was here. And she knew of me because she saw me perform in New Orleans at an NPN conference. So the lady in New Orleans who I worked with called her and told her I was here. So she called me and she was like, "Get your ass down to the center now." I was like, "Miss, I don't know you. You can't talk to me like that. Who are you?" Girl, we had a whole run back and forth. I was like, "Miss, hold on, wait a minute. And you are who?" She has been my rock. She just opened the doors to me. And that's what started my artistic endeavor here in Dallas, in South Dallas Culture Center. So, you know, it's been rough. It's been rough. It's been rough. A lot of things have happened in 11 years. No, 9 years since I've been here. I knew nobody. So I had to prostitute myself pretty much. And say, here I am, look what I got. People was like, they gave me a little time. They gave me a little time for a couple of years. Until people were like, oh, okay, wait, this heifer here, she coming with something. Wait a minute, hold on. She got that energy. Wait a minute. So it's taken a while, but I still feel like the other. I am the other. This is not my ground. This is not my home. We're like ambassadors for culture. Cultural ambassadors. Yes, it happened 9 years ago, but we're still wearing it. It's still resonating in us. We're still slightly lost. You know, we're still mentally trying to deal with the loss. How we got here. We didn't come here because we wanted to. It was almost like the Ma'afa. We was forced here.
You were what?
It felt like I was forced here, but I'm here, and this is what we bring.
How does that translate to the classroom, and how does that connect to your performance?
Children love to sing and dance and act. If you can create a curriculum that fuses dance and history, those kids will be so open to learning those charts and years and dates when you kind of tie into something that makes them think about it differently. Like anatomy and kinesiology is hard. All of the muscles and tissues. Think about a way that you can do that through movement creatively and watch them want to learn. Watch them want to learn it. That's what, as an educator, that's what I am pushing more to try to promote. Collaborations in the districts, in the schools, in the universities, between performance arts and academics.